Alright folks, welcome back to another live stream. Testing this out. Gonna be kind of a quick one here. Let me pull up the chat in case anyone drops in here. Got this putting mat a couple weeks ago. Been liking it. Probably do more of this once the colder weather comes around, but give me 1 second here. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Alright. I think we're good. Alright. Let's roll some putts. Gotta have my phone kind of up and out of the way just so I can read if anyone comes in here, but got the Crocs out, got the putt return, starting off with a push. Obviously, this is my little workout area here. You can see the stationary bike and the power tower pull-up thing over on the side. But with these workout mats, obviously it doesn't roll quite as good as if you were on like a really firm, solid surface. And this is my second putting mat I've had. The first one just had 3 holes. It was just flat. And this turf is a little more grabby, so more like a slower green. The other one rolls a lot more smooth. Not that necessarily a bad thing, but this is only they were both like 30 bucks on Amazon, so this one's nice. I don't have to move. I can just kind of stay in the same place and keep rolling putts. And if you can tell, possibly by the 2 holes, this one I'm putting into right now is just a regulation size hole, and then the other one I think is about half, much smaller. So if you're really good at putting, want to challenge yourself, oof. Sometimes it gets stuck over there. But usually another putt knocks it out. One thing I don't love about this mat, obviously there needs to be a ramp for the ball to come back, but you have to hit it kind of hard, and if you're trying to work on pace a little bit, this mat kind of allows you just to hammer a putt pretty hard, and it'll still go in. Jeez. Alright, that's 2 misses in a row. Working on a little bit of forward press. At least the feeling of it with my left hand. Keep the putter a little more square. not going to be live for a ton of time here, but when I've putted here in the past, usually I get into a little bit of a rhythm and just start, not by doing that, hitting 10, 20 in a row. Saw someone on TikTok doing something similar. Kind of a cool angle with the putts coming at you and seeing the ball come back. At least I thought so. See, that's the only problem. One, it's not a great putt, but two, with this, the workout tiles underneath plus the mat, it gets a little bit jumpy. I wonder if there's a way for me to kind of smooth out the mat, increase the stimp, so to speak. Still, either way though, even if it's, these are a little bit bumpy putts and slower, still just works on that muscle memory of hitting putt after putt after putt. Hit a couple hundred putts a couple times a week. Bound to, one, be a better putter, and two, lead to some lower scores. Pulled that one. I have a tendency, my miss with my putter is definitely pushing it, leaving the face open, so generally speaking, I'm okay if I miss a putt and pull it a little bit left versus same thing with like a slice. If you have a slice, you're kind of happy to see the ball go left, kind of like that one. That was a push, but apparently so far, the question of how many I can hit in a row, the answer is currently not many. This is the new putter I was talking about. I mentioned it a few videos ago. It's a 2023 Odyssey White Hot Versa 1. Alright, what's going on over there? We got a log jam. We got 3 balls stuck over there. Pushed it. Had a few in a row going there. Never know with live streams like this. This is kind of just a test. Sometimes you see, I think TikTok might be a little bit different, but sometimes you see people doing some pretty weird stuff on TikTok with like 5,000 people watching them. Not that I was anticipating that happening here. Ugh. Brutal. That was on the lip. Ugh. Ball. Escapee over there. Obviously, I'm a little bit limited with space in this current spot, but this mat goes even further back. I think this is probably, right now, probably 6, 7, 8 feet, maybe. Yeah, probably about 8 feet. And I think the mat goes back even further, so I think it's probably a 12 to 15 foot total mat. And obviously you can move forward or move back to your liking. Anyone that may stumble across this, though, especially if your putting is not a strong suit, which mine, luckily, because I have rolled so many practice putts, has kind of become something that's been definitely helpful when I shot the 1 under and 2 under, but just generally speaking, for 30 bucks, some of them are even cheaper, but 30 bucks, something that you don't have to go anywhere to practice and do. If you can just roll some putts and improve your putting, if you can turn 3 putts into 2 putts, that's obviously, if you're 3-putting everything, 9 strokes on 9 holes, and even if you turn half of them, so call it 4 or 5 across 9 holes, from a 3-putt to a 2-putt, or a 2-putt to a 1-putt, that's the difference between a 45 and a 40, or a 35 and a 40, or a 45 and a 50. Ugh. See, that one I felt like I hit, that was a decent putt, just kind of jumped, came up short. What I'm saying is, for 30 bucks, do it at home. 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Definitely easy way to cut some strokes off your game without doing anything else. I was thinking, these are just Titleist balls. I have a bag of nicer balls that I found that I just use for putting, so I'm not, one, losing them, and two, tearing them all up when I do my practice sessions or using them for the simulator like I did yesterday. But probably I was thinking I could put some marker stripes on these balls, so if you guys are watching this, you can see kind of if it is in fact an end over end putt. You can kind of watch the logo or the line maybe a little bit easier. I'm not a huge fan though. I'm not one to line my ball up. I feel like it messes with my eyes on course. So even if I did have them, I wouldn't be lining it up here for every putt, so they would still kind of be sideways. But I will say, I've set this up before, like on a concrete surface, and the Crocs are definitely nice, but although it doesn't roll as true, having this extra cushion underneath me for my back and my knees, there's been times where I've rolled putts for like 30-40 minutes, and your back, one from bending over, but two, like your knees, or at least mine, get pretty sore from standing on concrete or a hard surface with tile or something. So the extra cushion is kind of nice, despite not having the truest roll in the world. Pushed it, but got it to work. Sometimes you get lucky. Obviously, if you put it past it and it rolls back in, usually that would have been a miss. That one I pushed and it just dropped in the side. Realistically, I don't know if that would have fallen in real life or not, but definitely if you miss it bad enough, it definitely won't go in. Skippy on that one. I'm definitely a right eye dominant putter, or at least try to be. I feel like when I'm rolling at my best, kind of keeping my head down, turning my head sideways versus pulling up and out of it and looking at it. If I'm able to get my eyes over the putt and primarily focus on that right eye, have a better time of lining them up, rolling a more straight, true putt. Oh, I was right in the heart, but a little short. Already I can feel, it's only been what, 10 minutes maybe? Or maybe 20. You can already feel just that lower back from being constantly hunched over. The lower back tightening up a little bit. Alright, brief intermission. Grab a drink real quick. Little cough drop. get out of that position just slightly. Probably go for another 10-20 minutes, maybe. We'll see. My back starts hurting, but this is mainly just a test. And like I said, if you guys look at some of the other live streams, I haven't gone live a ton, but last winter, when there was snow on the ground, I was doing some Oculus live streaming. May do that again. Probably do this a few times. But figured last couple days I've had some time, about an hour around lunchtime. Figured I'd try this out. Unfortunately, I think it's standard. The vertical live streaming for YouTube is still kind of new, but I was looking on yesterday's one, that's short. Fortunately, I think 720p is the max or standard resolution. I have pretty decent internet, so it would have been nice if I could have, or I could figure out how to stream at least in 1080p, if not even 4K. 4K may be too much, but 720 is kind of low. But on your phone, I don't know if you'll be able to tell a massive difference. Obviously 1080p would look clearer and crisper, but the vertical live streaming is meant to be kind of viewed and consumed on your phone versus other live streams you see. Landscape mode, people watch on there, primarily TVs or laptops. One day, a few weeks ago, I rolled so many putts my hands were cramping just from being in that same similar position and grip for hundreds of putts. Kind of wish this putting mat was cheaper than some other alternatives out there with the ramp. There's some like really nice ones with wood and whatnot. Kind of wish that this line, I get why it's on the smaller one to help you really line it up for the smaller cup, but kind of wish it was on this side. And the only problem was I would do more of the smaller training style cup, but the balls kind of get in the way here when they come back out, so you're kind of hitting them on the backstroke. So I kind of just stick to this regulation size. What's the current streak? Haven't really been counting. This is kind of just a test. I've been kind of just rambling. Alright, that's one. I've hit like 20 or 30. That's two. Three. Alright, we're at 3. I want to say I probably hit about 8 or 10 before. Two. Three. Four. Pushed it. Alright, we're up to 4. At least with me counting. Probably actually not a bad way to go about practicing, because you kind of get, if you get up towards a record, probably get some extra nerves that would be similar to if you're on course with a big putt for par or birdie or a oh That was nasty. Or a low score. Even the putter open. Tough to tell. I try to be as much straight back and straight through as I can, but I know these putters, a lot of the blades have toe hang. This one has, you can kind of just balance it on your hand. This is, I guess, slight to slash moderate toe hang. Some of them are way down, and then usually the mallets are pretty face balanced. So the more toe hang you have, the more kind of open the door, shut the door putting stroke it's kind of designed for. Alright, 1. See if we can get to 10. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 'Alright, made it to 10. Definitely easier streak-wise if you take a half a second before and kind of line it up like you would, versus just repetitively hitting them. You can kind of get misaligned. 11. 12 with authority. 13. 14. That one almost missed. 15. 16. 17. 17. 17 is the record. Alright. I think I'm getting close to calling it. Again, this was just a... Oh, that was a bad putt. This is just a little test run. Kind of fun though if I could pop in here and there, roll some putts. This isn't something where outside yesterday, that was about an hour and a half. I feel like I can walk around, hit shots. This, you're kind of just standing in the same position. Maybe a few more people pop in if I do it more at like a 5 to 8 p.m. type of time. Other people are popping in, saying stuff in the chat, kind of pass time, liven things up just a little bit. versus me just either not saying anything or talking to myself while I'm hitting putts. But something for you guys to watch, and gets me working on the old putting stroke, which needs some work, as does everybody's. I need one of those in my life. How long is it completely unrolled? So this one's pretty long. Right now I'm at about 8 feet. I think these gym tiles are 2x2. So I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 feet is all the way back here. And then this thing goes, I think, probably another... It's pretty long. That's probably another 2 feet maybe. So it's probably close to 10, 12 feet all in all if you want to go all the way back. Which, that's a pretty long putt. If you can consistently hit 12 footers, it's pretty good. Usually right around 8 feet is where even the pros, their statistics start to drop way off after 8 feet. I think it was, I mentioned it a couple times, but Max Homa, I think it may have been either with Foreplay or possibly Bob Does Sports doing like a scramble or something when he would play against the entire team. He would say he would play like pro-ams, and amateurs would be standing over like a 15-foot putt, and they miss it, and they go, "Oh man, I always make those." And he was saying, no, you definitely don't, because I don't even make those. And if you look up the statistics for putting for the pros based on distance, it does drop off a cliff percentage-wise after about 8 feet or so, but they are very, very, very consistent inside of 8 feet, which obviously makes a big difference if they're putting it at, I don't know what off the top of my head what the percentage is, but call it 80-90% inside of 8 feet, and you're down at, the average amateur down at 50, even 75%. Those strokes are going to add up across a scorecard for sure. And the biggest difference is with their lag putts, even if they're at 8-10 feet and they happen to miss it, they're putting the ball right next to the cup, and it's literally a inch or two tap in, versus if us mere mortals miss a putt, we could be multiple feet, either short, long, left or right, which is definitely leaves you with some work to do to try to save whatever putt that may be. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I don't know if back by Bay, if you're still in here, I have 2 different putting mats. I got this one a few weeks ago, and I like it because obviously I can just stand in the same spot and it's rolling back to me. This mat isn't quite as nice. There's a rubber backing, which is nice, but it's a little more grabby and a little bit slower. The other mat I have is just an 8-foot mat. It's just completely flat. It has 3 different holes, and it has kind of 2 almost bunkers, basically to catch the balls you miss behind. But I found myself with that one, I could get 4 balls into 1 cup, but I found myself after so many putts, I feel like I spent half the time walking back and forth clearing out the hole. But that is better for pace because it rolls truer, and there it's a little bit quicker. So if I find myself blasting putts when I get back out on course, if I found myself blasting putts too far by, because this is uphill and a little bit slower, I'll probably pull that mat out one every couple times and just work on speed. But as long as you're on a pretty flat surface, this is good for just your overall putting stroke, alignment, face control. And if you're lazy like me, you don't really have to move around a ton. You can just kind of stand still like I am and hit putt after putt after putt. Hold it. Alright, another 5 minutes or so. Call it a day. Went live right around 1 p.m. Call it quits around 1:45. Another 7 minutes or so. Let's see what Mr. Back by Bay has to say. I've just been putting across a rug in my living room into an empty beer box. It's not super accurate. Yeah, definitely. I mean, no matter what you do, even if you're putting on concrete, putting on a rug, just the fact that you're getting that muscle memory. Same thing as if you're like what I was doing yesterday outside. No simulator, no R10, no GS Pro, Home to Hero. You're still just hitting those shots, practice shot after time after time after time. You're getting that muscle memory. So, although you're putting into a beer box on a rug, you're still putting. So, obviously, every course you play, unless you have a home course where you play the same exact course with the same green speeds every single time, you're going to have to go and kind of feel it out. If you play around like I do to different courses, every course, and sometimes even hole by hole within the course, it's going to roll differently. So yeah, I think it's the first time I've heard a beer box. I think the classic is usually a cup or a mug. People do that in like their work office or living room. I've seen they just roll it into a cup. I think there was a video. Who was it? Ian Poulter. I think he was on his private jet in full swing. Him and his kids were doing a putt off up in the air on the jet into a cup. Appreciate Mr. Back by Base stopping in though. I was in here yesterday and here today, putting on a plane. Have you seen Full Swing? I don't remember if that was the first season or second season. I think it was the first, maybe. Don't remember exactly. I think it was the first season where they were following him, and he was super upset after a round, threw his clubs in the locker room. I still love that first season, Brooks Koepka, when he said, he was talking about how he can't compete with the guys week to week. It was part of the reason why I went to live, but one of the quotes and things that he said that's always stuck in my mind is, golf, when you're playing well, you think you've got it completely figured out and you're never going to lose it. And when you're playing bad, you think you're never going to get it back, which is very, very true. And I've experienced that, both sides of that, multiple times. But crazy game to where you're playing with confidence, you're hitting it well, you think, well, I've got this thing figured out. It's only onwards and upwards from here, just improvement until you make it into a slump. And when you're deep into a slump, you find yourself saying, trying all these different things, no matter what I'm doing, I can't seem to get myself out of this slump. Am I ever going to play good and hit it good again? But yeah, if you want one of these, I just got it on Amazon. I don't remember. It was probably some random listing. It was the cheapest one that looked decent. I think it was $30, and then tax maybe came out to like, it was like 29 maybe, and then like a couple bucks in tax, maybe 33, 34 total. Just type in putting mat ramp or whatever. I opted for the one with the 2 different holes. Some of them only have one. So maybe if my putting gets really, really good, I'll primarily just go over to that small training hole. But it's not impossible. It's just you got to get it like that. That one that would have missed, but snuck it in the back door. You basically got to keep it true and start it on this line. Even that, all the way. That was on the line the whole way, but a little bit too much pace. I'll tell you what, if you get used to putting on a half-size cup, and you can do it pretty consistently, your putting would probably be pretty good if you're used to putting on a half-size cup. That start line, that alignment aid, this white line does help. Yeah, you loved the first season, didn't care for the second season. I'm trying to think. They followed Joel Damon was really good. People loved him. He was in the first season. I think Matt Fitzpatrick was the second season. They had a couple different people. Rory. Still never broken 100 on the course. I'm close, but not there yet. Just to get the frustration. Yeah, you'll be there. You keep playing. I checked out left a comment on, I think you had 3 videos. One of them, your latest one, you had the comments turned off, so I wasn't able to comment on that one, but commented on the second one. But you keep playing, you work on certain things, you keep just swinging it. It's impossible to get worse if you just keep playing than if you keep either putting on your carpet into your beer box or get something like this for pretty cheap. I mean, the cost of about 9 holes, or depending on how much you pay for a round, but basically for 30 bucks, you do this. This will knock off, I was saying it at the beginning, if you're able to, on the green, you practice something like this, and able to bring, if you average 2 or 3 putts per hole, if you can even cut off half of those, turn half of the 3 putts into 2 putts, that turns a 45 into a 40, or a 50 into a 45. And if you're shooting 45-45, you're shooting 90. I will say though, if you've never broken 100, you're gonna have a lot of fun once you start doing it, because it's significantly easier going from 100 or more down to about 80, 85, 90 than obviously it is from going 80, 85 down to 75. So you're going to see a ton of improvement, and you knock off a ton of strokes going from 100 or more down to 85 or 90 versus going from 85 to 80. It's significantly more difficult and challenging, but can't imagine too, those guys, like I play, usually when I go out back and I do the simulator, I play 36 holes, so I do 2 rounds, just for, by the time I set everything up, I kind of want to make use out of the time and not just play one single round. But if you go out and you play, go try playing 4 rounds in a row like they do. It's not easy. The fact that they have a personal life, they work out, keep their body right, and the fact that they can play at such a high level for 4 days in a row, that's a ton of swings. I'm sore after a day or 2, let alone 4, shooting even par, a couple under, or a lot under in some cases if you're someone like Scotty who's just a machine. But being able to shoot in the 60s 4 days in a row at courses like that, how difficult they are, with tons of money on the line, reputation, people all around from the furthest back tees on those greens, which are like concrete. That was a bad putt. Very impressive. Alright. One more. If I can do it. One more. Shut this down. Get back to work. Alright. Well, there you have it. A little test run. Appreciate Back by Bay coming in, dropping some comments, keeping me company. Yeah, definitely. Once you break 100 for sure. Part of that too is just mental. I'm sure you, if you're towards the end of a round and you're right around that 100 mark, I would assume you probably get some nerves starting to come in too, because knowing that you've never done it and you really want to do it. But once you do it and you break through it once, I bet as soon as you could do one-handed putts one of these days too. I bet once you break 100 for the first time, you'll do it probably pretty consistently after that, I would assume, especially if you're playing a decent amount. But this was one thing when I was really struggling with putting. I would do left-handed and right-handed, and I'm definitely a, as you can tell by that one, definitely a right-hand dominant putter. My left hand is significantly less accurate than my right hand. But I'm going to wrap it up. Appreciate Back by Bay or anyone else that came in here. Probably do this again sometime in the near future, so be on the lookout, turn the notifications on, and I'll be posting videos again sooner than later, so look out for those as well. But see you guys in the next one.